Hi. So I have historically had a problem with watching too much YouTube.
I do 2 or 3 hours of work a day. I work out for about an hour in the morning, and then the rest of the day, I'm over here trying to get caught up on my YouTube subscriptions. I'm subscribed to 530-something YouTube channels, which is way too many. I recognize how silly it is, but my brain is just like, stress about this. You need to be so stressed. If anything interferes with your schedule and you don't get to watch 6 hours of YouTube, you're gonna be so behind when you start teaching again. And my brain is just like, this is the most important thing in the world.
So yeah, I was clearly consuming YouTube in a pretty unhealthy way, and I had been thinking about just stopping for a while. Like, this video was on my video ideas list. I had been planning on doing it in a few months. And then the funniest thing happened. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard everyone talking about Inside by now. It needs no introduction, but that special really did kick my butt into gear. Like, for 2 solid weeks after watching it, the only thing I could think was, holy cow, I have a problem. The line, apathy is a tragedy and boredom is a crime, really stuck with me specifically. Like, in 2021, you can't be bored. It's like impossible. There's always something to do. That's great most of the time, but I had been craving boredom, just that sense of like, I could do anything right now. And somehow none of it's appealing to me, but like, there is something to boredom, that feeling of just like, I don't know what I want to do, I just have time, is not something that I have felt for a very long time. Now, I know some people don't like quitting things cold turkey, but you're looking at the girl who stopped eating meat on Thanksgiving, quite literally resulting in actual cold turkey, so I don't do well with gray area. I just have to go from one extreme to the other. I don't know why, that's just how my brain works. So I knew that the best way to kind of communicate to myself that the world isn't gonna explode if you go a few days without watching YouTube was to just not do it. So I fasted from YouTube, with a few exceptions. One, I'm a teacher and I like to keep my classes fairly interesting by incorporating YouTube videos for my students to watch and discuss in class. So I allowed myself to use YouTube to, of course, find these videos if I could resist the temptation of looking in the recommendation section. 2, if I was like sitting on the couch or getting ready for bed and my husband wanted to watch YouTube, I wasn't going to stop him. I was on kind of like a personal journey, and I didn't intend to drag him along with me, although it kind of wound up happening on accident, but you'll see that in the updates. 3, video workouts like Chloe Ting and Cura Pro don't count. When I do workouts, I just focus on the workout. I'm not like mindlessly scrolling through YouTube. So those are there for a specific purpose. It's a much more controlled, regulated way of using YouTube, so I didn't count that against me if I wasn't gonna stop working out or like go get a gym membership just because I was doing this little experiment for a week. So with all that in mind, let's take a look at how the week actually went, because there were some major ups and downs. Day 1 update. Today was my first day of not watching YouTube. I did use some of the exemptions that I mentioned earlier, so I needed to pick out a couple videos for my students to watch in class. Before you can get to the search bar, there's just that page of things that are perfectly tailored to you. I'm just like, no, just trying to search. But I did it. I resisted the urge. I watched a YouTube video with Eric while we were letting Otto eat his food because Otto needs something in the background, and Eric picked a YouTube video to watch. So I did watch a couple videos today. Also, I discovered that half the things on my like Roku live TV thing are like Bon Appetit video. There's a whole Bon Appetit channel that just plays like their YouTube videos. And there was this like craft channel that's just Troom Troom. This is so ridiculous. Freaking, this is Troom Troom! Troom Troom on my actual live TV. Look, Troom Troom. This is just straight up Troom Troom, and look at this. It is for hours. Just hours of nothing but Troom Troom on this channel. What is life? Gourmet Makes? What is TV now? Is TV just YouTube? This is, okay, so like this is when I'm on my Roku TV, right? This is just called live TV. This isn't like something we pay for. This is just live TV. That's all it is. I don't know what this is. It has like an antenna, so maybe it's cable. What is this? What? It's just YouTube. Gourmet makes. My mind is blown right now. I didn't spend time watching either of those. So what did I do instead of YouTube today? Well, I had some work that I needed to get done, and I got all of it done. Maybe I could have done a little more lesson planning, but I got pretty much like everything I wanted to get done. And that was satisfying. Normally when I get to Sunday, I'm like, I'm supposed to be relaxing, it's the weekend. And I didn't really feel like that today, which is nice. I feel like overall, I'm feeling pretty okay about it. There were definitely a couple moments throughout the day where I'm like, oh no, I still need to grade some students' homework and do some yard work. And then I only have 3 hours. And I'm like, 3 hours to do what? Like normally I think, oh, I only have 3 hours to watch YouTube. I'm gonna be like so behind. And then I get like really stressed out about staying caught up on my YouTube subscriptions. But I was like, oh no, I have 3 hours to do literally whatever I want. Maybe I'll play a video game, maybe I'll watch TV, like I don't know. I think it's because of quarantine, I like really relied on routine. And while that's nice, it has led to me treating like YouTube as a routine, and it's not supposed to be a routine, it's supposed to be something that is relaxing. So today I feel like I actually took a more relaxed approach to relaxing. I got Paramount Plus. I also wanted to watch the new iCarly thing that's coming out. Not trying to go through everything all at once, but I watched the first 2 episodes, quite good. Maybe I'll do a video where I like talk about the new iCarly, but I enjoyed it. And then I watched a couple episodes of Community because I wanted to start watching Community like months ago. I think in 2020 I tried to start watching Community because I was like, it's a pandemic, I'm gonna have so much free time. So I started like 2 episodes of Community and never really like kept going. So I'm trying to get back into that. It's a good show. I'm not like quite just super invested in it yet, but it's nice to like have a show that's just kind of low stakes. Like you don't have to pay attention to it all the time, but when you are paying attention, it's like it's funny and entertaining. When I watch YouTube, I like feel like I have to pause if I'm not watching. I don't just let it play. Like I want to be there fully paying attention, and it's kind of nice to just have something that's like on in the background and you can think about other things. No offense to Community, but it's a great show to have on in the background, but it's also a good show to pay full attention to. And I read a little bit. I already read like an hour a day because it helps me wind down at night, but this time I started reading a bit earlier just because, I don't know, there wasn't anything else to do. But it just feels like I have so much time right now, and that's about all I have to say. So I'll update you guys tomorrow. Bye! Hello, yes, I'm in my pajamas because I got out my pajamas and then I was like, oh, I still need to update the thing. So, hey. Day 2 of no YouTube has been good. Less boring than yesterday. I mean, I just got more done because it's a Monday. So I worked 8 to like 2 because I got a little more work done on Sunday. I had more free time today. At 2, I filmed a video. The video that you saw the week before this video, or 2 weeks before this video. I watched the rest of the iCarly episodes that are out right now, and that's about it. I really enjoyed the video that I filmed today, so a lot of my time just went into that. And, you know, I didn't feel bad for it, I guess. I just like let myself enjoy making the video because like what else was I gonna do? So it's actually kind of nice. I'm almost done editing this video, which I normally do not do in one day. I didn't feel like not watching YouTube had really impacted my Monday, but maybe it did a little bit. I made way more progress on a video than I normally would. That's kind of weird though, I guess. I'm not watching YouTube, but a lot of the stuff that I did today is related to making content for YouTube, so oops. Come here. Hi, buddy. I don't know how Tuesday through Thursday are gonna be. Those are normally like my busiest days. They may not be noticeably different because I'm used to only having like 3 hours of free time. So maybe even without YouTube, that's still not gonna feel like enough time. I will keep you guys updated. Bye. Am I gonna do that every time? Please don't. Tomorrow I'm gonna find a new way to say bye, I promise. I hope you guys like my pajama shirt because you're just gonna get to see this a lot. It's Tuesday, not the best day, but it was not just because of YouTube.
yeah, I'm feeling better now. I don't know, I worked on that video that I was really excited about and it made me feel a little better. But, you know, like I said yesterday, Tuesdays suck for me. I teach 7 hours and don't get a lot of time to relax. Yeah, I just woke up and was not in a good mood. I don't think that watching YouTube would have helped though. So normally I have 4 hours between my morning classes and my evening class. And normally, you know, a couple of those hours have to be spent on lesson planning, but I have like 2 hours to relax in the middle of the day. And normally I would, you know, just watch YouTube at that time. Today I was like, feel like crap, so I'm gonna watch, I was gonna watch Inside. This is just me talking about Bo Burnham. I'm just gonna talk about Bo Burnham a lot in this video. And I was like, I don't know, what do you watch when you're like sad and you can't decide if you want to laugh or feel sad? Bo Burnham. So I was gonna pull it up and then Netflix was like, oh, you should watch Make Happy. And I was like, okay, haven't watched that in years. So I watched Bo Burnham's last special instead of Inside, and it was okay. It was weird to watch that now. Some things just don't age well, but anyway, not the point. The point is I watched that instead of just like watching YouTube, and I don't know like if it was like better or worse. It didn't particularly cheer me up, but I mean, what should I have expected, honestly? But I did get to feel the feelings that I was not feeling before, and so that counts for something. And I don't know, there is something about being like, I feel like crap, so I want to watch this. I don't get to do that with YouTube. With YouTube, I just watch what shows up in my subscription feed. A little liberating to just sort of like pick what I want to watch. Wow, that's crazy. Anyway, so that's what I did in the middle of the day. I went for a bike ride, which I normally do. When I finished my lesson planning, I had a little extra free time, or not necessarily, but it was basically Eric asked if we wanted to do Wendy's for dinner, and I was like, I don't know, I have class at 6, like, can you pick it up and bring it here, like, and I still have time to eat it by 6? And he was like, what if you go pick it up? And I was like, you know, I can pick it up. And it was nice, you know, I got to leave the house, listen to some music on the way to Wendy's, changed the pace a little bit. Oh, while Eric and I ate Wendy's, we watched an episode of Community, did the lesson planning that I had put off, and edited a little bit more of my video, and that's it. That was the day. I will say I have missed YouTube a bit. It hasn't been too bad, really. In fact, like, I really just feel like I have more free time and clarity of mind overall, so it's actually kind of nice. And I'm sitting here trying to think, like, logistically, how can I still feel like I'm supporting the content creators that I like while not pressuring myself to be like, oh my gosh. When I was watching Make Happy, he was talking about like how some celebrities like basically like put everything on their audience, stick with me through thick and thin. He said, don't stick with me through thick. If I'm like a terrible person, just like go or whatever. And I'm like, that's a good point. Like, I have content creators who I watch all their stuff, even the things that I don't care that much about. Do I need to watch every number file video? No. Like, this is such a hard, like, boundary for me. I will say, I think the time that I miss it the most is when I just have, like, 20 minutes and, you know, live TV, it ends at very specific times. So it's like, you know, if I'm about to have to start getting ready for class at 8:50, I'm like, I don't want to start watching an episode of Tiny House Nation and then have to get up 10 minutes before the episode's over. I want to see what the house looks like, you know? It's like, it's so hard. It's so hard to just like fill in this space. I've been spending more time on Facebook. I didn't know what exactly was going to happen, but one of my predictions was that I would spend more time on other social media, just because, like, what else are you gonna do when you have 5 minutes? You know, just sit there. But overall, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I mean, like, in general, I just feel like I have more free time, and like, it's more free time. The time is actually free, instead of being like, I'm gonna spend 2 hours watching YouTube, you know? It's like I'm free to do what I want, and that's quite nice. So overall, had a crappy day, but still feeling good about it. Tomorrow I have a little more free time, so I don't know. We'll see where that takes us. Deuces. Yeah, now I have to say bye a different way each time. That's the new 12 minutes. Hey, thought I'd change up the scenery for you guys. Today's Wednesday. I Wednesdays are also pretty busy for me, so it wasn't particularly noteworthy. I do think this was the first day that I really felt bored, which is like all I wanted. So let me think, what did I do today? I worked basically until 5 o'clock. So I don't think the lack of YouTube impacted me until 5-ish is when I finished getting my work done a little early, like 4:30. So I fed the dogs, watched some Community while I fed the dogs, and then I just like watched Community for like 2 hours because I fed the dogs, and then I did some cooking, and while I was cooking I would like pop in and watch Community and then go back and like stir the pasta that I was cooking and then come back. And so like I watched like 3 or maybe 4 episodes of Community, which is like, that's a lot for me. I'm not a binge watcher, but like there was nothing else to do. Oh, the other thing, yes, in the middle of the day I did take a break from some of the work that I normally do on Wednesdays. Again, I kind of reworked my schedule in a way that I don't normally do, and I said, I don't really feel like lesson planning right now. I'm gonna push it back to the evening, and I played Fuser, and then I'll lesson plan later in the evening, and I did that, and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna be miserable. I'm gonna be like, oh, so stressed out, and no, it is 9:35, and I'm like, I'm done. I finished all my work. I got ahead on work, actually, that I was gonna do like later or this weekend even, because like what else was I gonna do, you know? Like I was bored. That's what I'm saying. Like there was nothing for me to do. I didn't want to watch more Community. Yeah, I was just like, I was bored, so I worked, which is kind of nice, trying to take advantage of that. And now it's like earlier than I normally go to bed. So normally around 10 I get in bed and read, and now I don't know, probably like watch an episode of Community first and then read, so I don't have too much screen time right before bed. It's wild that I can just like be done and like actually feel like I'm done with the work that I have to do. I seriously have had such a problem with treating YouTube like a job, like a responsibility. I'm so sorry if you can hear my dog drinking water right now. I actually feel like I have free time now, and I actually feel at 9:30, 9:15 really, I felt like I'm done with work for today. I never feel like that, because if I still have YouTube to watch, I feel like I still have work. That's kind of messed up, right? For something that's supposed to be entertaining. I felt bored today, and it was riveting. Didn't really feel tempted to watch YouTube today. Even though I was bored, I wasn't just like, I just want to mindlessly watch YouTube. I was just like, I don't know what to do, if that makes sense. But yeah, I feel like overall today was pretty good. I'm starting to get, earlier I had this thought, I was like, what am I gonna do on Saturday? I don't know, I'm a little worried about Friday evening and Saturday when I just have more time and no work. Don't know what I'm gonna do with that. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm just gonna stop rambling. So, oh, I said I would come up with new ways to say bye. See ya. There, it's like my video. Haha, that's how I say bye in all my videos. But it's the middle of the video, so it's funny. Bye. Hello, yes, I am back in my pajama shirt again. I wash it, okay, so keep your judgments to yourself. Thank you. So what is this, like day 5 of no YouTube? Honestly, hasn't been as bad as I thought it would be. Today was much better than Tuesday. So Tuesday and Thursday are basically the same schedule for me. I had an extra meeting today. So yeah, I guess I had less free time than I did on Tuesday. That sounds right. I definitely got more done on Tuesday. I worked out on Tuesday. I watched like a whole movie. Today, during my free time between classes, I had a meeting. I got a little bit of work done. So I don't know if that counts as free time, but you know. And then I think I watched like 3 episodes of Community. Yeah, and then after my evening class, I played some video games, which I have been kind of wanting to do, and I haven't really felt like I don't know, I keep forgetting that video games exist. I'm just not a big gamer. So I sat down to play Link's Awakening, which I've been wanting to play, and then I was like, as soon as I turned on the Switch, I was like, Animal Crossing. So I played Animal Crossing for 30 minutes because I haven't been in my town literally since December. Then I did play Link's Awakening for like 30 minutes, but like by the time I got to sit down and play games, it was like 9. So I did like 30 minutes of Animal Crossing, 30 minutes of Link's Awakening, and now I'm gonna read a little bit. Eric will probably come to bed in like an hour, and then we'll probably watch Community. I got him into it. So why did I roll my eyes at that? For some reason, I like mentally I don't count reading and like dozing off to a YouTube video or a TV show as free time, but like it is. It's just like scheduled free time because I do it at a certain time for a reason, to help me wind down. But yeah, just other than the things that I normally have scheduled for before bed, yeah, it's just not particularly noticeable on Thursdays, I guess. I will say, when I was watching like the 3rd episode of Community, I was like, dude, how do people do this? 2 days ago, I think, I remember thinking to myself, man, this is how people watch so many Netflix shows, because they aren't watching YouTube. They're just like always watching Netflix. Like, I always marvel at how people like go through certain shows like so fast. And I'm like, oh, it's because it's like your primary form of entertainment. That makes sense. However, after 5 days of only watching Community and Tiny House Nation, I like Community. It is very entertaining. But man, I can't watch like 3 episodes without being like, well, that's enough of that for today. And it's not because I have a problem with Community. Like, it's highly entertaining. YouTube has me spoiled. Like, you watch such diverse content on YouTube within the span of like so little time. I love that. I don't know, I have diverse interests, okay? I'm just not like other girls. So I guess today, I don't know, would I say I missed YouTube for the first time today? Maybe. Yesterday I think I said like I didn't miss YouTube, but I just like wished I like had something else to do, not specifically YouTube. Today, yeah, I think today I would say that I missed YouTube a little bit. I had a moment where I just like wanted to watch something and not play a game, you know, not read. I wanted to watch something, and I didn't want it to be Community, and I didn't want to go through the effort of like picking out another Netflix show, telling the Netflix algorithm what I'm interested in, so it's like shoving more things like that down my throat. Like, I was a little, I guess you could say I missed YouTube a little bit today. Now I'm maybe more worried about Saturday. Saturday's gonna be hard. I feel like I'm gonna have to like take a 2-hour nap on Saturday just to keep myself entertained. I feel like I've done finger guns at the beginning of like 8 of these videos. Is that just me? I don't know why it would just be me. I have videographic evidence, so I guess we're gonna find out. It's Friday. Today was like really normal, I think. It is probably the most normal day I have had so far, like in comparison to what I normally do. And I don't mean like in terms of the way I spent my time. I mean in terms of like how productive I was and how bored I felt and those sort of things. Like, just nothing really noteworthy happened today. The past few days, even on the days that I say like, oh, I didn't really notice a difference, like I would feel bored, or maybe I got a little more work done than I normally would on those days. Today I got like literally the exact amount of work done that I normally try to get done on a Friday, which is a little less than the other days of the week. I guess on Fridays I normally have about 5 hours of free time, or 6 I guess, because I stay up a little later. Yeah, I mean, that feels like a lot of free time, and it didn't feel like, oh, 6 hours, what am I gonna do? I'm so bored. Like, it really wasn't that bad. Again, sorry about my dog. I just zone it out. Bear, you can't be thirsty right now, okay? So I went for a bike ride. I watched quite a lot of Community, like 3-4 episodes today, and the new episode of iCarly, which was quite funny. That was a pretty good one. Eric and I got Taco Bell, and also when Eric got off work, he noticed that there was a little baby kitty in a bush outside of our house, and we talked for about 30 minutes, like, what are we gonna do with the kitty? He was like making some calls to these people that we know who kind of help with the stray cat problem that we kind of have in our neighborhood. Sometimes when something like that happens, just something like weird and out of the ordinary happens, I become kind of like a baby about it. I'm like, oh no, I have to drop everything. Oh, my life is so hard. I'm only gonna be able to watch like 1 hour of YouTube tonight. Like, bleh. And I didn't feel like that, of course, this time, because like, what else was I gonna do with my evening? It was kind of like, oh, something different and interesting. And then I just watched more Community. Oh, and literally the last thing I did, I played video games. I played video games for like 2 hours, which I like never do. But yeah, I just started playing Link's Awakening and it was very addicting. So I played it for like an hour longer than I expected. Yeah, kind of nice. I don't know, I just let my time get away from me. I also had that when I was watching Community. I was like, I literally, like, it's funny because yesterday I was saying I don't understand how people could just watch the same show over and over again. I think maybe it's because I'm right now, like today I was in the transition between the end of a season and the start of a new season, which is always kind of like an interesting point in the series. And yeah, I was watching like my 3rd or 4th episode in a row and I was like, I could sit here all night and just watch Community and just like fall asleep watching this show. And like, so I guess I kind of get it. I guess I kind of get how people can just like watch shows forever. I really thought that today I would get bored again, because yesterday I had so little time and I still got bored. But today I had like twice as much free time as I did yesterday and not bored. So I don't know. I think it also just depends on your mood and stuff. I have the weekend ahead of me. I don't know what it's gonna be like when I, you know, kind of go back to normal. I was about to say I almost don't want to go back to normal. I don't think that, I will say I don't want to go back to normal. I don't want to go back to watching YouTube as much as I used to and treating it like an obligation, treating it like I like owe the people that I'm subscribed to all of my time and attention all the time, because I don't owe them my attention any more than I owe like the creators of Community my time and attention. And I watched 3 episodes of Community and then ditched it for like half a year. It's so funny because I feel like I act like I'm not affected by parasocial relationships that much, but I guess I am. And it took this little experiment for me to realize that like I treat my subscriptions like my friends. You know, if my friends have a channel or a small business or something, I will really go out of my way to support them. But I don't have to do that with YouTubers, especially if they're putting out things that I'm not particularly interested in. And I don't know, it sounds very obvious, but yeah, I had a bit of a toxic parasocial relationship with YouTube in general. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I could handle less of that. Anyway, now I'm just rambling. Yeah, I guess we'll see how it's gonna go tomorrow. I'm a little nervous that it's just gonna be like real boring, but at the same time, even if it's really boring, it's the last day. I made it. So I'm, you know, it's all downhill from here, as in it's all easier. It's all uphill from here, as in it's all more positive. I never know which one to use. Good hills from now on. Aloha. Oh, it also means hello, so that's pretty interesting. Hey, it's Saturday. It is the last day of my YouTube-less week. It was way less boring than I feared it would be. Eric and I did a lot of shopping today, so we did some grocery shopping that took like an hour-ish, and then we went to a town like an hour away because it has this video game shop that he likes. Did a little bit of like shopping while we were in that area, and that took up like 3 hours, and then it was an hour drive and back. So like by the time we got back, it was already like 6 after like running all our errands, and I had a good time doing all the stuff. So basically, it's 12:20 now. Really? Wow. It's 12:20 now. So I guess for the past 6 hours, I have watched Community. A lot of Community today, but it wasn't as like, yeah, I guess season 2 is just interesting because I have not felt bored of watching Community. What else? I worked out for an hour, 9 or 10. Eric and I started playing Fuser, and then like pretty much for the past like 2 or maybe 3 hours, we've just been like watching each other play Fuser and occasionally being like, oh here, do this, or like, you know, laughing at whatever like weird mixes we accidentally put on, and it's been fun. Yeah, I was gonna read tonight. Hi Barry, you want to be in the video? Good job. Hi buddy. And then this morning, before we went to do our errands, again, like we like woke up, watched 2 episodes of Community, and then went to run our errands. So it's just been a lot of Community today, but somehow it hasn't been boring. Yeah, Community, shopping, video games. That was my Saturday, and it was not that bad. I guess overall, after a week of not watching YouTube other than for specific purposes, I wouldn't say like I feel particularly different or better. I think the biggest takeaways are I do have toxic parasocial relationships where I feel obligated to support the content creators that I'm subscribed to. 2, TV is really boring. It's not bad. Today I quite enjoyed watching only Community, but man, oh man, just watching the same show all the time, it just gets boring if you don't have anything to shake it up. And the other thing is, watching TV all the time, it's not like anymore, you know, like people need to do something unproductive with their time, right? Sure, during the week, maybe I was a little more productive, maybe I got a little more ahead on, you know, some aspects of my schedule and my work life, but like in general, I didn't make much more productive use of my time. You know, before this week I was like, maybe I'll like go on walks and like really just like practice my piano. Maybe I'll just be so bored that I'll do like, oh, nope, it didn't happen. When you work 40 hours a week, you just need, when you have a moment to relax, you just relax. And that's fine. I guess what I'm saying is right now I feel like the biggest takeaway that I've had is it doesn't really change that much in the grand scheme of things. In my opinion, I might still stand by my original belief that watching YouTube can be more beneficial in that I'm able to watch more diverse content. There's a lot of educational content that like it actually appeals to me. You know, it's not like, I don't know, is there even educational content on TV anymore? Like documentaries, I guess. But like, I don't know, I feel like I learn stuff when I watch YouTube, whereas not a lot to learn from at least the stuff that I watched on YouTube and Netflix for the past week. YouTube to me does feel more rewarding, and I feel like certain, I just feel like I gain certain benefits other than just entertainment from watching YouTube. So that's something that I don't want to give up forever. It was not as bad as I thought it would be. I would like to continue to watch YouTube less than I did before, but I'm also excited to get back to it. There are a few, you know, content creators that I miss. I overall feel like I learned some things, but will also probably continue to behave in roughly the same way. Just with a little less YouTube and a little more Netflix, I guess. Is that even good? I don't know. Maybe the takeaway from this is, I don't know. Last way I'm gonna say bye. I've already done another language. Peace. Toodles. Yeah, toodles.
Hello, it's me a month later, but it's also me from the beginning of the video because I recorded the first part a month later. Time is an illusion, okay? This was not part of the plan. I didn't really, you know, sit down and say, okay, I'm gonna stop watching YouTube, and then a month later I'm gonna like I'm gonna give an update to see if like any of it stuck. But my computer's graphics card completely went out on me, so there was no way the video was happening because my computer was in the shop. So it kind of worked out in an interesting way because now I can give you guys like a month later update telling you how this experiment has actually affected my life. So yay for messed up graphics cards. I stand by the 3 conclusions that I mentioned in the final update, which were I had toxic parasocial relationships with YouTubers. Watching a lot of TV is boring, and relaxing is fine and necessary. I'd say the parasocial stuff has gotten better as I've watched less YouTube. Over the past few weeks, I've definitely skipped more videos than I would have in the past, even from creators that I really like, and I don't feel bad about it. I know that, you know, deep down I care about these creators, and that's why I stay subscribed to them, but I don't have to, you know, I don't have to feel obligated to watch every single thing that they do. I also still don't understand the concept of just like watching the same TV show for 5 hours. I know people who do this. They'll just like put on Friends or whatever, you know, The Office, like some comfort show, and just like watch it. And not really watch it, right? It's just like in the background, but you're like scrolling through your phone, I guess. I don't know. That concept is lost on me. But I will say I'm trying to find kind of like a happy medium where I'm not only watching YouTube. I'm kind of trying to find a balance where I, you know, watch a little bit of YouTube, but I'm consuming other forms of media as well. And I definitely still agree that relaxing is fine and important. And just because I'm watching less YouTube, it doesn't mean that I should feel like it's necessary to replace that time with something more productive. Going into this, I thought that I would like come out, you know, like so wizened and like spending more time working on my hobbies. And, you know, no, it's fine to relax. For me, that was seriously, I think, the biggest takeaway is just like the human brain needs to do nothing sometimes, at least for like a couple hours every day. And that's fine. But yeah, so a month later, I would say that I have a healthier relationship with YouTube. I went to see my family in North Carolina for a week, and when that was coming up, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, am I gonna watch YouTube an average amount? Am I gonna try to stay on top of my subscriptions? Like, I don't know I had no idea what was gonna happen, how much like free time I was gonna have. And while I was there, I basically watched no YouTube. The only video I remember watching while logged into my account was ProZD trying 18 ? Types of Subway sandwiches. Eric and I did watch a couple things when we were logged into his account on the TV because, again, Otto has this thing where he really needs like background noise when he's eating. So we did turn on, you know, a couple YouTube videos on the TV just so he could relax and eat his food. But other than that, I really didn't watch YouTube while I was on vacation. In the past, I really pressured myself to watch every single thing that everyone I liked put out with like very few exceptions. Now, I'll be like, I'm trying to treat it more like live TV. It's like, oh, what's on today? If I don't watch it today, it's gone. And I'm sorry, but maybe I'll watch your next video, you know? And again, it's like, I don't have to feel bad for that. So in that way, I do feel like I have a more positive relationship with YouTube. Sure, I am still watching YouTube a decent amount, but I feel like I give myself more freedom to choose what I don't want to watch. I've also been giving myself the freedom to just, like, okay, so a month ago I was definitely like talking about like, Community, it's fine, just put it on in the background, but it's not that entertaining. Now I'm like very into Community. We finished it, and I'm like, I'm watching all those behind the scenes things, all the, you know, bloopers, all that stuff. And in the past Becca would be like, I really want to watch that Community blooper reel, but I guess I got to put it in my watch later because I'm so far behind on my subscriptions. I'll just watch that later. Nope. These days, I'm like, man, I want to watch that Community behind the scenes video. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to do what I want to do, and the algorithm doesn't tell me what to do. It's riveting. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Still watching plenty of YouTube, but also spending time reading, watching, you know, more traditional forms of media, I guess. I feel like more often lately I've been like wanting to go outside and ride my bike. Like, I just definitely have had more of an urge to do things that aren't YouTube, but still I'm watching plenty of YouTube. But even when I do, it's a more enjoyable experience, definitely. So yeah, I already know this video is super long, so if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. This was seriously a really interesting and impactful experience for me, and if you feel like you spend too much time on YouTube, social media, Netflix, whatever, I strongly encourage you to try something like this. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe because I put videos out every other Friday about music, media, linguistics, and whatever else is on my mind that week. Thanks so much for watching. See ya.